They said Manchester City had reached perfection. But perfection, it turns out, was just the starting point. Pep Guardiola's men haven't simply returned, they've mutated. Once a team defined by sterile control and endless possession, City now breathe chaos into precision. This is football's most dangerous creation, a system that controls you and kills you.
Forget the tiki-taka cliche. This version of Guardiola, he's torn his own rulebook apart. He calls it being pragmatic, but make no mistake, it's not about abandoning beauty, it's about weaponizing it. And at the core of this new age stands a man built for destruction, Erling Haaland. The Norwegian machine isn't just scoring goals, he's devouring defenders, feeding off scraps, and turning milliseconds into mayhem. 5 goals in 4 Champions League games, 13 in 10 Premier League appearances, numbers that sound unreal until you realize they're just his new normal.
But Haaland's not alone in this hunt. Guardiola has built him a supporting cast so perfectly engineered, it feels like a lab experiment. Rico Lewis connects with him as if reading his mind, threading passes that slice through defensive lines with surgical calm. Jeremy Doku, a blur of movement and menace, rips open flanks like a one-man wrecking crew, forcing opponents to stretch, gasp, and eventually collapse. Phil Foden, reborn. Back in rhythm, dancing in the half spaces like he never lost his touch.
And behind them, Tijani Reinders conducts the orchestra. The rhythm, the calm, the spark that links order to explosion. Every pass, every press, every diagonal run. It's part of Guardiola's new gospel, a football that doesn't seek control for comfort, but control for chaos. Because this isn't the Manchester City that wants 70% of the ball anymore. This is a Manchester City that can kill you with 50%.
Every possession, every counter, every inch of the pitch, reprogrammed for one goal: domination through unpredictability. Guardiola has built something terrifying, not just a team, but evolution itself. Control, for Pep Guardiola, no longer means keeping the ball. It means keeping the opponent afraid of what might happen when they lose it.
Manchester City's dominance in 2025 isn't built on comfort. It's built on precision, purpose, and a little bit of madness. Every movement has meaning. Every player a cog in a perfect storm. And at the heart of that storm, 7 names: Haaland, Foden, Reinders, Doku, Shirky, Savinho, Donnarumma. 7 pillars holding up Pep's new empire.
City aren't just England's best side. They're its new measuring stick. 10 matches, 20 goals, and football that looks like it was designed in a laboratory. Guardiola's obsession has evolved. No longer endless passing for control's sake, but vertical precision that slices through opponents like a blade through silk. And it all begins with Tijani Reinders, the silent engine. He doesn't just move the ball forward, he moves the game itself. 69 carries in his first 5 appearances, covering over 800 meters. That's not just running, that's conducting. Watch his assist against Arsenal. He glides past midfield, slows time itself, and threads a pass Haaland was already sprinting toward. It wasn't luck, it was geometry in motion, Guardiola's philosophy brought to life in a single pass. But Reinders is more than rhythm. He's firepower. He scores from distance, crosses with precision, and bends the rules of tempo. Guardiola didn't sign a midfielder. He signed a mind that sees football 3 seconds ahead of everyone else. With Reinders pulling strings, City don't just control matches anymore. They command them. Then there's Rayan Shirky, the wild card Pep was never supposed to trust. The free spirit in a system built on discipline. At first he struggled. Injuries, doubts, whispers that he'd never fit into the City machine. But when he returned, it was like lightning hitting the Etihad.
2 matches, 2 masterclasses. Against Swansea, he was everywhere. Creator, finisher, magician. A goal, an assist, and 11 shot involvements. Numbers that only Foden and De Bruyne had ever reached in a City shirt. And suddenly, the question became real. Could Shirky be De Bruyne's heir?
Where Reinders gives structure, Shirky brings chaos. He plays like jazz in a world of orchestras. His unpredictability breaks systems apart. The flicks, the first touch passes, the sudden acceleration no one sees coming. Watch his link-ups with Haaland. Anticipation so sharp it feels like telepathy. One headed through ball against Bournemouth, one flick over the back line, both goals, both pure instinct.
And when he's not assisting, he's finishing. That solo run against Dortmund, a blur of feints, balance, and audacity, looked like something out of a video game. His strike against Wolves, a feint, a pause, a rocket into the top corner, was the mark of a player reborn. Manchester City aren't just evolving under Pep Guardiola, they're multiplying. Every player adds a new dimension. Every match rewrites what football can look like. This isn't just control anymore. This is fear engineered.
City's structure has evolved into something ruthlessly efficient, a calculated, direct machine built around one unstoppable force, Erling Haaland. Everything bends to his gravity. Every run, every pass, every second of movement revolves around him. And the results? Terrifying. 18 goals in 14 games, the best start in Manchester City's history. But it's not the stats that scare you, it's the pattern.
He doesn't just finish moves, he defines them. Haaland has scored more than half of City's goals this season. He's not a striker anymore, he's a gravitational field. Opponents orbit around him, trapped between panic and paralysis. Guardiola's system has always been about brilliance. Now it's about inevitability. City don't aim to overwhelm you, they aim to end you. One chance, one strike, one roar.
And surrounding Haaland is a constellation of brilliance that makes it all possible. Rayan Cherki, the visionary. Tijani Reinders, the architect. Jeremy Doku, the chaos engine. Together, they form football's most complete front line, a blend of intelligence, unpredictability, and pure velocity.
But let's talk about Doku, because he's not just another winger. He's Guardiola's rule breaker, the one player given the freedom to shatter geometry. Across Europe's top 5 leagues, no one touches his numbers. Not Musiala, not Yamal. He's not just dribbling past defenders, he's deleting them. Analysts had to redraw their charts because Doku broke the scale.
Watch his goal against Napoli. He pirouettes through 4 defenders like he's dancing in a hurricane. Against Dortmund, a faint flick and a flash. A cross so sharp, Haaland barely had to move. And that moment versus Manchester United, 3 defenders dismantled, a cut to the byline, a second cross, and boom, Foden smashes it home.
That's Jeremy Doku, relentless, fearless, impossible to cage. At 23, he's redefining what it means to be an elite winger, not through brute pace, but through rhythm, confidence, and audacity. Guardiola calls him the best player in the world in the first 5 meters, because when Doku starts, there's no stopping him.
For a while, it felt like Phil Foden had faded into the shadows, the kid who once lit up English football. Quiet, tired, searching for rhythm. But under Pep Guardiola, rebirth is never accidental. It's engineered. And this season, the message is clear. Phil Foden is back. 4 goals, 3 assists. But stats only scratch the surface. The truth lies in how he controls matches again. How every touch feels deliberate. How every run reshapes the field around him. His brace against Dortmund wasn't just 2 goals, it was a declaration. This is evolution in motion. The young prodigy, once guided by Kevin De Bruyne, now stands as City's new creative axis. He's no longer the student, he's the system's heartbeat. Since De Bruyne's departure, someone had to fill the void, and Foden didn't just step in, he took over. Every touch feels purposeful, every run dangerous. Phil Foden has gone from talent to architect. From the kid with potential to the man who defines Manchester City's rhythm. This isn't just a comeback, it's the second act of a genius reborn. Pep Guardiola has rebuilt his empire, again. But this time, it's different. This is not the Barcelona idealist, nor the Bayern perfectionist. This is Guardiola 2.0, the scientist who finally embraced chaos. But here's what's truly terrifying: the numbers. City still play Guardiola's signature possession game, but with a sharper, more lethal edge. Nearly 483 passes per match, 87% accuracy, and yet it's no longer about keeping the ball. It's about hurting you with it.
Because this isn't the old Manchester City, the one obsessed with total control. This version blends mastery with menace, its control spiked with danger, its geometry laced with chaos. This is Pep's final form, the evolution of a mind that refuses to stand still. He's taken everything he built over a decade: positional play, pressing, width,
overloads and fused it with unpredictability.
The result? Football that doesn't just mesmerize, it terrifies. The numbers prove the science. The eyes prove the art. This is no longer just beautiful football. This is beautiful destruction. The age of Guardiola 2.0 has arrived, and the rest of Europe can only watch and pray they survive it.